I'm Mark Engelman with Jag Investments over here on the West Coast. My biggest takeaways were, number one, Nissan's a great coach. Number two, he introduced me to some people that I didn't know and some that I do know. And it's great to know that I have another set of people that are people that do what I'm doing and are trying to succeed in real estate. Nissan's helped me in a lot of different ways, going back to training that I've taken 6 months, almost a year. The way I look at doing business is so much different now. And that's probably my biggest takeaway. Nissan working on one-on-one's a great guy. I probably tune into his videos once or twice a week when I'm doing whatever. It's just great to have him, and I pick up little nuggets from him all the time. So he's just a great guy. Nissan's changed me as the way I look at business now. You know, I'm trying to develop a company and I'm farming out stuff and having other people do things that I don't want to do. And it's okay to have other people do things I don't want to do because you can't do it by yourself. So he's changed that mindset of mine.
My name is Saket Lukaku, and I met Nitzan in 2014 in one of the conferences with Dave Lindahl. And how did I hear about the mastermind? Well, I was connected with Nissan and saw him on LinkedIn, and we interacted a lot. And I requested him to join the mastermind. He said we are having a mastermind, and I joined it, and it was wonderful. We had some, especially if you're starting out. I mean, it was really wonderful in that sense because there's a couple of things. There's two things needed to succeed in anything: is motivation and then the mechanics. So I found both of them, and the beauty was there were different kinds of people with different kinds of problems, starting with personal all the way into the mechanics of the business. So, which was wonderful. And Nitzan was very patient and gave a very generous ear to everything, which is very important because at times it's the personal problems that can stop you to get ahead. And at times the business problems are business problems. I mean, there's no problem there. I mean, as far as I was concerned, I got some specific business problems answered by him, and I'm looking forward to getting some answered in the next mastermind, probably on Friday. Being involved with Nitzan, there are multiple things. So the problem with becoming sophisticated in anything is you start losing people around you who are not interested or not are part of that environment. So it is hard to get people, especially successful ones, who you can talk with, mastermind with. That's the whole point, mastermind. Talking with unsophisticated people, there's nothing wrong with that. People may be good, but they can't answer the questions that you might be facing against the problems you are facing. Those may not be answered by those people just because they're new. It's not that the people are not intelligent. It's just they are not specialized. So as it is mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, this is specialized education, and Nitzan is providing that, which is a good thing. And I hope you take the most advantage of that. And he is sophisticated, believe me. So.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos Chavez, and I am an investor from Washington, D.C. I met Nizan at the Ultimate Partnership event in Boston, Massachusetts. I follow him through social media. Actually, I heard about the mastermind via email. Biggest takeaway I would say is take action and don't be afraid. He has helped me to realign my goals and practice accountability. I think that that's one of the main things that I was struggling with, but after joining his group, that has been a great help. It has I think it has made me a better investor. He talks about you know um, about networking with people that are positive, and so he's he's positiveness just transfers. I'd like to give a big thank to Nitzan for being there for starting or prospective investors.
Nissan a few years back in a conference that it would take place up in Boston, and that's how I met him. I started following him through social media. I introduced myself. I told him that my name was Cesar Echeverry, that I was from Connecticut, and I was looking forward to starting a multi-family business. He gave me some great points, and that's how I met him. Nissan have a radio show that where he is once a week on Wednesdays, and he always talk about entrepreneur, spirituality, having the right mindset, and he always talk about what he's gonna be doing, presenting and stuff like that. And I heard that he was gonna be doing a mastermind, and I attended his first mastermind a few months back. And of course, since I saw a great change within myself, I jumped into the second one he did. My biggest takeaway was how to deal with emotions. Since we are human and emotions tends to build up within us, we don't know how to deal with them, and we have to let the emotion, which is energy, we have to take control out of it and let the energy come out of yourself, because if not, it's just gonna be within us, and it's gonna stop us from reaching our potential. So that's what my takeaway and my aha moment. Being involved with Nissan and just around him, it helped me to build confidence, to start to take my businesses to another level. I was stuck at a point where I didn't see myself moving forward, and he was the one that opened like my mind. I have a clear vision, and right after that, I was on the first mastermind. And right after that, like within a week or two, I was able to magically, if you want to call it, or do through the exercise, close on a triplex. So, which I'm very grateful for that. Working one-on-one is the best thing that could ever happen to me, because it's more private. You now see your mentor like as a family member, and you are able to open yourself more, and he give you tips and stuff that we don't know. And when we don't know where we're going, it's like we don't know what we need to achieve in order to do that, what we need to do. So working with him one-on-one, it gives you a clear vision and a clear habits that you need to do in order for you to reach your goals, which is great. After working with Nissan one-on-one, it totally changed me and changed my point of view and my thought process. The mind, I always tell this to everybody, and I tell myself, the mind that creates the problem, we can no longer use that mind to get a solution. Why? Because that mind, the only thing that it sees is the problem that it created. So you need another mind to look for a solution and then tell you what's the solution and how to achieve it. So Nissan is the one that that has the solution for my problems. Thank God for that.
Okay, I first met Nitzan around 2009, 2010. We were both being mentored by Omar Periu, awesome guy. And at that time, I knew Nitzan was at a much higher level than we were, and Omar introduced us to him and his mastermind at that time. And at that point, we started growing with Nitzan. So I've known Nitzan off and on for the last almost, say, roughly about 10 years. So my name is Dio. We now run a company called Buyer Next Door. It's a national virtual real estate acquisition company. We do deals nationwide, and working with Nitzan, it's helped us mold and kind of be more clear as to how we run this company. How I heard about the mastermind was for the last 2 years, I had been doing, this virtual real estate, wholesaling and fixing and flipping and whatnot, and connecting through social media on Instagram. I noticed Nitzan was on the platform. He had made a comment on one of the projects we were doing in Delray, and light bulbs just went off because I haven't talked to Nitzan in so long, and I saw what he was into, and we have always been wanting to segue into multifamily. So when I checked him out. I told him as soon as I got back to the mainland, we should definitely get together. My brother Daniel and I both got to meet him, reconnect, caught up on so much lost time. And when he told me exactly what he was doing and the group he was working with, we were all in. And so recently, early this year, I told Nitzan I'd work for free for the next year or however long it took until, we earned our stripes in the multifamily landscape. The biggest takeaway I got, and Nitzan challenges me on this every time I see him, is clarity. Know exactly what it is that you're looking to do. And so specifically with this most recent mastermind, our biggest challenge was raising private capital. And talking with the group and explaining where my deficiencies lie, they were able to go ahead and pinpoint, hey, listen, you got to be clear on what it is that you're actually looking to do. Discover who that avatar is. Who is it that you're trying to borrow money from? What are their needs? What are their desires? Right? What are their biggest fears? And then start to cater to that so that you can build, little by little, you start building rapport, and eventually you'll start building that pool of private capital for the deals that you're working on. I don't think there are enough words to describe what it's like to work with Nitzan. I've known him for quite a while, so he's allowed to, kick me in the rear. He holds me accountable. He's definitely extremely communicative. And for us, it's huge because, that's the kind of guidance that we'd expect from a mentor, instead of just having somebody just yes you to death or not give you enough information to move forward. Nitzan provides all of that. And so, like I said, we're so brand new to multifamily. The amount of information that we've received from Nitzan in the last couple of months, even during this whole COVID, and we're having to do things virtual, we've made leaps and bounds for us as far as where we started at the beginning of the year with Nitzan, and now where are we in now May? We're actually working on raising capital for a 40 unit. It's about 40 units in Canton, Ohio, 40 single family homes. It's a huge deal for us because it's the first time that we get to work on a project of that magnitude, and that we couldn't have done it without Nitzan's help. Yeah, no, that's easy. The way Nitzan has helped me is it's pretty much with that clarity. The way I wake up every morning, it's just with the clear intention of not only what I'm looking to get out of the day professionally, but also personally. So to keep that symbiotic relationship between personal and business is huge for me as a human being, and Nitzan understands that. So that's the way Nitzan has helped me out a lot. It's just the clarity on my intention and how I go about my day, both professionally and personally.
Hello, my name is Gal Shapira, and I heard about Nitzan through social media and the internet. And actually, I was searching data about multifamily investing, and then I encountered Nitzan. So how do I get to the mastermind? I actually flew all the way down here to the States. I'm living in Israel, and I just flew down here just for being with Nitzan and learn from him and help him doing stuff. And that's the way I heard about the mastermind, and I just thought it's a great idea, and I wanted to be part of it. Yeah. Takeaway from the mastermind was actually not a specific answer from Nitzan. My biggest takeaway is the approach that Nitzan brings with him to all the questions, all the difficulties that people ask him. He always knows how to answer. He's always like in the mindset of just finding solution and not asking questions and not saying, I don't know what to do. Let's say what we can't do. That's the biggest thing. So Nitzan is kind of is a force of nature. You just being around him and you get the energy, you get the mindset, and you get the approach of him. That the approach that is looking on things, and the approach that is talking with people, and when you get that, and that's the most influential part that I got from being involved with Nitzan on things. Yeah. Okay, so working with Nitzan one-on-one was a great experience for me, because Nitzan is kind of he got a lot of success, but it's still kind of down to earth guy, and he believe in, spirituality and mindset, not just the business side of things. And a lot of people that experience a lot of success, it feels to me like they are kind of leaving the spiritual things aside, which for me it's really important in my life. So for me it was a great experience to just see that you can be successful in business and in real estate investing and still be in that mindset and spirituality of being positive and not just about the business. One thing that changed in me, it's the approach that I'm coming on when I'm looking on a problem or real estate acquisition or something. I'm just way more looking on the little details right now. When I'm asking Nitzan about questions, he's always going to the little details to know everything there is to know about it. So that's how I changed.